what is the emotional connection that you want your audience to have? And I think this is one that a lot of people miss, but it makes a huge difference with how you show up to camera.
Welcome to the Property Management Podcast, and thank you so much for joining me. Now, if you've missed my recent PM Mastery Bootcamp, you might have also missed that we have launched a property management membership called Accelerate. This was created to be a one-stop shop for all your property management training and support, from processes, procedures, and workflows to templates and checklists. We also have new monthly trainings around growth and marketing, a done-for-you social media hub, and personal development trainings from some leading industry experts. We're also building a like-minded community of property managers and business owners wanting someone to share their struggles with and celebrate their wins. It can be lonely when you feel like you're doing all the things on your own, but having someone you can turn to for support and advice will make all the difference to the property management struggles that everyone is facing. So head to the link in the show notes and join at our founding members price. Now let's talk about this week's episode on video. Now, did you know that videos had an audience reach of 92% amongst internet users worldwide, and that 82% of global internet traffic will come either from video streaming or video downloads? Research has also shown that 84 minutes per day is the global average for video consumption. And social media is clearly one of the hottest ways to share video content online. Whether you're using Facebook, Instagram, or any other platform, it's an effective way to reach your audience and establish a connection. Now, the key to making video work for you is being where your ideal audience is. Now, when it comes to sharing longer form video content, YouTube is the platform that is currently reigning supreme. Live video is a really popular way to reach your target audience and to discuss your business and its offerings. Data has shown that the favored platform for going live is Facebook, closely followed by Instagram. And data has also shown that about 90% of consumers use their mobile phones to watch video content. And it turns out that people rely on videos to learn more and more about various products and services. In fact, it's around 96% of people are now searching for businesses online. And if you're wondering what video content is working well, it's short form 1 to 2 minute videos that include rants or educational content or sharing about something that's happened. And now that you are aware of this and how powerful video is, how do you actually go about creating video content? Well, the first step, and the major step that I had to overcome as well, was the fear, the limiting self-beliefs, and the mindset around showing up on video. Can anyone relate to that? After that, it comes down to what do we say and how do we say it? Well, that is where my guest today can help. Jen Trevorrow, or JenT, as she is well known in the industry, is the founder of the Video Confidence Coach and the Video Marketing Academy. Now, Jen went from a super shy lady who was terrified of public speaking, but decided on a whim to face her fear head on and signed up for some training. She cried all the way through the initial stages of her first public speaking course. But by the end of it, she was recruited as their lead trainer and public speaker. She knows exactly where you are right now when it comes to creating video content. I'm assuming scared, overwhelmed, fearful of rejection and judgment. And she can help you to get where you need to be, which is confident, showing up consistently, and helping others with your video content. So if you want to know how to plan out your video content and exactly how to say it, Jen has the content strategy and the structures you should be using to grow your audience, connect with others, and impact your community. So take a listen. Welcome back to the Property Management Podcast. Jen, you are becoming a regular on this podcast. Now, can you just give us a little bit of background for anyone who hasn't connected with you or doesn't know you and hasn't listened to the previous episode, what you do and how you came about doing what you do?
Well, Kylie, first of all, thank you so much for having me on again. I love listening to your podcast. I am not in property management, but I still learn lots of different things from all the amazing guests that you have on. For those who don't know me, I'm Jen Trevorrow. Everyone just calls me JenT because it's easier. And I'm the owner and founder of Be the Confident You and the Video Marketing Academy. Now, as we know, video is absolutely everywhere. And if you're not regularly showing up in front of the camera, your message isn't being heard. And that's my whole philosophy and belief, is that everyone has a message that deserves to be heard, especially for people looking after people's biggest investments, because video creates know, like, and trust. And it builds connection. And that's what, as an investor myself, that's what I need from a property manager, is to understand that they're going to communicate really well with me, but they also know what they're doing. So sharing the behind the scenes and all of that is so important for property managers. And there's lots of different ways that you can attract more clients to you through embracing video content. I wasn't always a really confident speaker, though. In fact, I was absolutely petrified of getting on stage, on getting on camera. So I know the hesitation that some people may be feeling with the thought of creating video. But because I feared it so much, it was something that I wanted to learn. And I didn't realize at the time that public speaking and speaking to camera is actually a learned skill. And all of the world's leading speakers have done speaker training, and it's the things that you don't even know that you don't know that can make a really big difference on how you communicate either on stage or on camera. So after doing my initial training, which I've got to admit to everyone on here, I was so nervous and full of self-doubt that I cried through 2 full days of training. But what I learned from it was that it was something that I needed to dive even deeper into. And within 3 months, became the lead coach and trainer and the MC for a public speaking coach. So going from absolutely petrified to lead coach and trainer and speaking for a public speaking coach, which is just, even still when I look back, Kylie, I can't believe that it happened so quickly. But it's because it was the right coaching, the right strategies, and the right mindset. And that's what I get to help my amazing clients do, is have their message seen, heard, and felt through being on video.
Okay, tell me, would you like to make maintenance your superpower? Well, you can. And you don't even need to tell anyone. It's all thanks to Tappy, a powerful property care software that takes all the pain, stress, and chaos out of dealing with maintenance and turns it into a predictable process that is reliable and frictionless, where every maintenance process is a smooth experience for everyone, with value adds that your owners and tenants will absolutely love. And it seamlessly integrates with your property management software too. And here's the bonus: it can actually help grow your business as well. And if you're rolling your eyes at me right now and thinking, yeah, right, I've heard all this before, then do yourself a favor and book in for a demo at tappy.com.au. Mention That Property Mum and receive 1 month free on Tappy. And you do an amazing job, can I just say. I've been working with you for probably about, 6 or 8 months, maybe more, maybe longer.
Yeah, I think we're coming up 9 months.
Yep. And it's like working with a friend. You not only do you coach on video, but you also coach, business coach, and you definitely have a lot of value. And I love that story that you had to overcome your fears and your limiting self-beliefs. And a lot of the clients that I'm working with now, done for your social media, I'm trying to get them to do video, more and more video, and there's just so much self-doubt and hesitancy around it. So can we maybe, before we dive into talking about some structure and strategies, can we talk about some of those limiting self-beliefs and that fear that you've overcome? And I know so many other people who are listening to this have got. What are some steps that they can use to face them and move forward with video?
This is such a great question. Thanks for asking, Kylie. I actually did a post yesterday on the fear of public speaking. Now, the fear of public speaking, it's actually made up of 4 fears. So it's the fear of uncertainty, fear of rejection. And that's an interesting one because it's one of 2 fears that a child is born with. Because if a child is rejected, then they don't survive because they can't take care of themselves. So it's interesting that that is still associated with the fear of public speaking, and it can be one of the hardest ones to break because it's so ingrained in us from birth. Then there's the fear of judgment. Now, the fear of judgment is the one that probably comes up in conversation most. What if people judge me? What if people are laughing at me? What if I make a fool of myself? And they were some of the things that I used to say to myself when I was getting ready to present. And then the fourth fear is, now you've got put me on the spot here. I'm going to have to go and read my own content. But it's these 4 fears when they're all combined. So you've got rejection, uncertainty, judgment, and how can I not remember this? I talk about it all the time. But anyway, there's 4 fears. I'll give you that. See, I'm making a mistake, and that is okay. It's about embracing our mistakes and learning from it. But with overcoming it, there are some strategies that you can do. Now, the first one is your internal dialogue. If you are about to get in front of the camera and you're saying things like, don't say, I'm going to make a mistake. What if I make a fool of myself? It's going to put you in a downtime way of thinking where all you're thinking is about self. Now, video content has nothing to do with us. It's all for the people who need our help. And when we shift to a mindset of being of service, it completely shifts us to being in an uptime way of thinking where we can be there and can really connect with people. So definitely recognizing the self-talk and start talking back, asking yourself things like, what evidence do I have for this? Start having some empowering statements. And I will often, when I'm working with someone who is very, very nervous about the thought of being in front of the camera, is I'll get them to write in big black text on a post-it note 3 really empowering statements and putting them in the first 3 places you see. So it could be your bedside table, your bedroom mirror, above the kettle, and it could be statements like, I have value to offer, I have something worth sharing, people need to hear my message, I am enough. And really instilling this positive self-talk and positive attitude within us. So that would be a really big one. But then when it comes to actually standing in front of a phone or a camera that's about to hit the record button, what can happen is it can send signals of nervousness through our body. And there's 5 key ways that we do help people reduce that. But my favorite, and I think the fastest for people to use, is called square breathing. Now, when we're standing in front of a camera and we're standing strong, that's another big thing. Our physiology is so important when we're presenting. So our body, the way we're holding ourselves, our hand movements, our facial expressions. But when we have that rush of maybe nervousness showing up in our body, when we're standing grounded and we do some square breathing, it sends signals to the nervous system that I am calm, that I am safe, that I'm right where I'm meant to be. And it does calm down the nervous system. So square breathing is where you breathe in over 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, you breathe out over 4 seconds, and you hold your breath for 4 seconds. And you slow down the breath after a few rounds, and it calms you.
I do it when I'm driving. So as soon as I hop in the car, every time I drive somewhere, I do square breathing. So yeah, I've got a really hypervigilant, overactive nervous system. So it is amazing for me. So totally recommend it.
Awesome. I love that you use that.
Yeah. Now, I recently worked with you to put together some video content. I had a photo shoot day and did a lot of video content all in the one go. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today and how we can help others come up and create that video content so that they can go in and book a day doing video. I like to batch my work so that I don't have to, not that you have to have your hair and makeup done all the time, but there's certain videos that you probably want to do that hit the right points and send the right messages to people. I mean, I'm all for just doing the 1 or 2 minute rants, jump on and have a chat in the moment, but there is some video content that we need to do that we should be sharing. If you are anything like me, you think you know your rent roll numbers. Well, I thought I did until I had a rent roll health check, and I was quite literally shocked. The money I was leaving on the table was astounding, and this is not something that I'm proud to admit. There were missed management fees, let fees, advertising, and lease renewal fees not being charged, and properties even without bonds. And all of this was happening despite monthly audits being conducted in my business. So how did I uncover all these gaps in my valuable income? Well, I had a rent roll due diligence from my good friend Tazi, aka the Rent Roll Queen and founder of the Tazi Way, a specialist in rent roll due diligence, business valuation, and management rights. The Tazi Way is the innovative force driving the real estate industry. With 25 years of business and real estate acumen, they find gaps and risks in your agency to find undiscovered value. If you'd like to book your business in for a rent roll due diligence, head to the link in the show notes and mention That Property Mum for a 10% discount. There's been so much talk of stress, overwhelm, and burnout in property management lately. Do you want to know how I overcame all of that? Yes, I hit rock bottom multiple times, but I got myself a virtual assistant. Actually, not just one, but 3. But I didn't just get any VA, I got a PMVA. What are they? Well, they are the most well-trained in the business. And not only that, you also have a backup VA, so that essentially your business is never without admin support ever again. And my health, time, and business has never looked back. Your PMVA can take care of tasks like rent arrears, lease preparation and renewals, maintenance follow-up, routine inspection bookings, data entry, audits, prospecting, inbox management, and so much more. And the best part of implementing a PMVA in my business was that it freed up my time and my team's time to take care of important things like customer service. What makes me feel so safe is that PMVA is owned by Tiffany Botel, both here and in the Philippines, making my data secure and giving me more control over the VA arrangement. So head to the link in the show notes to book in your discovery call with Lady Boss Tiff.
Absolutely. The first thing would be, how many questions do you get asked as a property manager every week? How many questions do you get?
Too many.
Every time you get a question, that is the perfect topic for video. And I often hear that's one of the big objections I get is I don't know what to do video about. Look through the questions that you've had in your emails, in your text messages. Like, what questions are people asking? Because if someone's got that question, someone else is going to have the exact same question. So by even having a library of video content that answers the frequently asked questions, you can then send quickly in an email, text message. Videos are amazing and so underutilized. But if you quickly send that to them, it's going to save you time. And a lot of people think that doing video takes a lot of time, but if you shift it, it can actually save you a lot of time and energy throughout your week. So I would be firstly writing a list of all of the questions. Now, I've got a special formula for planning what you're going to do in your videos. The first one is, what is that aha or key takeaway you want your audience to have? What is that valuable piece of information that you're going to be sharing with them? The next thing is, how am I going to hook them in? instead of starting videos with, "Hi, my name is Jen and I'm from Great Property Management," you want to really hook them in before you introduce yourself. And a lot of the time, I would recommend not to even introduce yourself, especially in short form videos. But then what is the emotional connection that you want your audience to have? And I think this is one that a lot of people miss, but it makes a huge difference with how you show up to camera. So how do you want people to feel? Do you want them to feel trust from you? Do you want them to feel relief? Do you want them to feel confidence? What is that emotional state you want them to feel? The next thing is, what is the next step? So what is the call to action? And I really recommend if you're mapping it out, don't always do a sales pitch. Think about what other assets you could be giving. Like Kylie, I know you did one with a checklist, which is absolutely fantastic because some people need to build that trust over time. And it's these little touch points that builds that trust within you. So thinking about what is the call to action, it's really important that we do give the next step so that it gives purpose to the video. Does that help, Kylie?
Yeah, absolutely. That is amazing. So let's talk about then some other structures that I know you've got is there an Asia structure? Like what are some of the other structures that people could do that would be really simple and easy that they could write down while they're listening to this episode, some ideas?
I will give you, can I give them two? Have we got time for two?
Absolutely.
That I think will really, really help. These are two that I do in the 3-day video confidence challenge that work really, really, really well because that takes away the complication. And when we're in complication, then comes overwhelm, then comes procrastination, then comes we're not doing videos. So it's all about decomplicating it to keep you on track, but it also helps your audience follow. The first structure would be the Yoda structure. Now, the Yoda structure is great for so many different reasons, and we don't have time to go into all of the reasons today, but it stands for you. Obstacles, deliver, action. Now, you is incredibly important for video because our videos are not about us, they're about the people who need our help. So creating a you statement and starting your videos with, are you finding this problem or whatever, wanting this outcome? What that does is it increases views by 68%. Now, if you say you and a variation of you twice in the first sentence, it increases your views by 98%. And that was studied over 30,000 YouTube videos that they came up with those statistics. So it's absolutely mind-blowing. Then you talk about 3 obstacles your potential clients may be facing. And then you talk about the 3 ways you deliver on those obstacles. And then you do a call to action. So it's stepping through that attention grabbing statement, making it about them with a you statement, then talking about 3 obstacles, 3 ways you deliver on those obstacles, and the call to action. So Kylie, I would love to know, what are 3 obstacles that a lot of property managers are finding their potential clients are having?
Lack of communication.
Lack of communication,
Yes.
Yep.
There would be too much maintenance. And, well, it's not a problem at the moment, but it is a problem in the past, rent not increasing.
Okay, let's have a play with these 3 things. So we've got communication, maintenance, and rent not increasing are 3 investors' obstacles. So it could be, are you or do you know someone who has an investment property, but they don't think it's performing the way it should be? Maybe they're with a property manager at the moment, but they're lacking in communication. They're not getting those touch points over and over and over again to know that their property is performing at its peak. And then they're constantly getting emails saying that they have to pay more invoices because it's one thing after the other. It's maintenance after maintenance after maintenance. And they're wondering, is this investment property really worth it? And then they realize they haven't even increased their rent in the last 3 years, and they're seeing the price of rent go up, but their property isn't. Hi, my name's, I'm going to use you, Kylie, and this is exactly what we help our clients with. First of all, communication is key for property managers to make sure that you feel that you can talk to us, but we also communicate with the same level of respect for our tenants. We also go through maintenance. We do preventative checks. When we are doing our inspections, we're looking for what may be coming up so we can budget for that in the future and deal with it early so it doesn't become a huge issue. The other thing that we do is yearly rent checks. We check out the market around you. We want to make sure that you are getting the best return on investment for your property. If you or you know someone who wants to have a second opinion about how their property is performing at the moment, make sure you get in contact with us for a no obligation consultation.
Amazing. You are a pro at this. That's why you're a video coach.
I'm a property manager, but it can't be that easy. The thing is, we need to trust ourselves because you know what you do. You know what makes you different. You see what property managers that are underperforming are doing, and it's about highlighting what makes you unique.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said there was a second structure as well?
The next structure is all about client stories. Now, client stories are amazing because it gives them an idea and paints the picture of what life would be like if they change over to you. So like the Yoda structure, we've got to grab their attention. So this is the attic structure, and it's a really simple structure to use when you've had a success story from a client. So the first thing we do is we grab their attention. So A is for attention. Then we talk through the timeline, we inspire, and then we call to action. So ATIC, attention, timeline, inspire, action. Now with this structure, you could pick someone that maybe they hadn't had a great history with their previous property manager. Maybe they were new to investing and they didn't understand what it was going to be like having a property with tenants. So we think about what is something common that's going to grab people's attention. You could use a you statement. It could be a shocking statistic. It could be a quote. There's so many different ways of using hooks. Then we go into, they came to us at maybe March 2023 with their property and it was really underperforming. Their rent was in arrears. They didn't have people paying on time. And it was becoming more of a headache than what it was worth. We were able to change over management within 1 week. I don't know what the timeline is for that, Kylie, but yeah, 1 week. And the first thing that we do was we reviewed absolutely everything. We reviewed the policies, the procedures. We went through and walked them step by step through what they needed to be able to increase their rent to what the property was valued at. And then you give the inspiration. We love working with investors who want to take care of their tenants, but also want to make sure that they're getting the best return on investment. If this sounds like you or someone that you know, give us a call today.
Perfect.
So really simple, really simple.
That is amazing. And that, look, anyone who's listening, write down those two structures, Yoda, attic. I don't know where I got Asia from, but anyway.
That's in one of our other trainings, Kylie.
Oh, is it? Okay. So there is an Asia one. Okay, perfect. Write down those two structures, guys, and start preparing some scripts, basic scripts around them, just some ideas, and start practicing on them. If you need some more help, Jen does have a 3-day challenge that you run regularly. Maybe tell us a little bit about your challenges, when they're coming up, and how, obviously share links in the show notes, but how can someone join in that, and what would be the benefits of joining your challenge?
Wow. So we do run it 5 times a year. We ran it last week. So if you are wanting to jump into the group and just catch up on the recordings from earlier this year, you're more than welcome. Just send me a message or an email and I'll be able to do that for you. The next one is going to be in a few months' time because we do have some masterclasses in between. But what we do is we meet on Zoom 3 mornings in a row, and each day we break it all down. We really simplify everything. And that's been one of the big pieces of feedback from the one that we've just run, is it's not scary to be in front of the camera anymore. It's easy to know what I want to say and knowing how to connect and properly prepare for being in front of the camera. Then what we do is we actually give you a challenge, because you can learn and learn and learn these skills. And I learned this the hard way myself. It's not until you're trying things on that you really learn them. And so we go through storytelling, we go through how to show up with confidence, but then we spend a whole session on how to properly prepare and how to do what's called chunking. So instead of writing a full script, and if you are writing scripts, please stop, because it's just taking away that connection and that authenticity. The written word and spoken word are two very, very different things. So we go through it. It's all been proven to give you real results. And some of the results that we saw from day 1 to day 2, everyone was just blown away because these strategies work.
Amazing. I'll share all the links for that in the show notes for anyone interested in getting really good at doing video. And it is the future of video. Recently, I did a reel, which is different to video, I know, but the algorithm, especially if you're on Instagram, loves the reels and the video content. I think I got 1,500 views on it. But what was interesting was 1,000 of those views were from my non-followers. So video and reels do reach larger audiences than just your following. So it's a good way to grow your following. And if you can start getting some engagement as well, even bigger bonus as well. But we are running out of time. Can you share some personal development tips, books? I know you're huge on this. You are an absolute wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, I love human behavior. I absolutely love knowing how people tick. I've done a lot of work around hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming, neuro design engineering. And it's one of those things that if you do something just once, you're not going to really notice a difference. So my tip for you is keep searching for that right coach for you. Everyone in business especially needs a coach, and it's finding the right fit that's going to help you stay accountable, but also help you grow and develop your business to where it should be. So I think that my personal development tip would be definitely get a coach.
Amazing. That is fantastic. And you are one of the best. So reach out to Jen if you are looking for a business/video coach as well. How can our audience connect with you? What's the best place to reach out to you?
All the socials, definitely Instagram. Come and follow us at JenT Video Coach. Be the Confident You on Facebook. But we also have the Video Marketing Academy, which is a Facebook community where we get guest speakers in. We're doing a panel for International Women's Day next week. We've got so many different things that we do in there. And I do mini masterclasses. So Kylie, I'll send you the link. Come and check it out.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me, Jen.
You're so welcome.
Property inspections, entries, exits, incomings, outgoings, routine inspections, whatever you call them, you have to do them. And I remember when I first started as a property manager, you had to handwrite the reports and take notes on a digital camera, then upload the photo memory card to your computer and hope and pray that they weren't all blurry or your computer had enough memory to store them. But gone are those days, thanks to Inspection Express. Now, Inspection Express is not only the #1 tool used by leading property managers across Australia and New Zealand, but the leader in groundbreaking new tech in the industry with the launch of 360-degree virtual tours. Now, virtual tours is upping the ante, giving landlords, owners and directors unparalleled 360-degree virtual access to their properties. So head to the link in the show notes to book in your free demo with Inspection Express. If you love the Property Management Podcast, you've got to check out the PM Collective, hosted by my friend, Ashley Goodchild. She discusses things like how to have awkward conversations about pay rises, yes please, how to raise the bar in property management, and why so many people just seem to fall into the industry. You've got to love stories like that. She'll leave you with great advice, actionable steps to take, and let you know that you're not alone in any of the challenges that you face. So be sure to check out the PM Collective wherever you get your podcasts. Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.